All right, settle in, because today we are diving deep into a country that, well, it feels like it's really capturing people's attention lately, Poland.
Yeah, definitely on a radar.
So we're unpacking a specific source today. It's a travel guide, basically,
Mm,
and it lays out not just the must-see spots in Poland,
right.
but it also pushes this particular tool, FlightNHotels.com, as the way to plan and book your trip there.
Exactly. So the mission for this deep dive really is to understand the core argument the source is making for why Poland should be, your next destination.
Okay.
What specific places it highlights, and then how it presents this booking platform as the key to making it all happen, sort of seamlessly.
It's an interesting mix, isn't it? Pitching the place and the tool.
It is a blend of destination appeal and, well, the practical steps to get you there.
Right. So let's start with that pitch. What is it about Poland, according to this guide, that makes it so compelling right now?
Well, the source paints this picture of Poland as a country where history isn't just like stuck in museums. It feels woven into daily life, sitting right alongside this real modern vibrancy. It highlights this incredible mix, deep historical heritage, rich culture, and maybe surprisingly for some, a lot of natural beauty.
Okay, that blend sounds pretty intriguing. What are the specific things the source points to, the main draws?
First off, the history, definitely. The guide emphasizes the layers. You've got medieval towns, these stunning Gothic castles, loads of UNESCO World Heritage sites,
Right.
and royal legacies like you find in Kraków. But it also points to more recent, really powerful history. It specifically mentions sites like the Warsaw Uprising Museum,
Ah, okay.
which showcases that story of resilience that's just so central to understanding modern Poland.
So it's not just ancient stuff, but a living history. What about the nature side? You mentioned that.
Yeah, the source really stresses the diversity here. It's not just one kind of landscape. You've got national parks, sure, but also the Baltic Sea coastline with sandy beaches.
Right.
The huge, quiet Missourian Lake District up in the northeast, and then down south, the really dramatic snow-capped Tatra Mountains.
Wow, okay.
It suggests there's a natural setting for pretty much any kind of traveler.
History, nature, and look, the practical stuff often matters a lot when you're choosing where to go. What does the source say about cost?
This is a key point it really emphasizes: affordability.
Good to hear.
The source suggests Poland offers significantly better value for money compared to a lot of Western European spots,
Right.
making it attractive, especially if you're, watching the budget. It even ties this back to the booking platform, saying FlightNHotels.com can help unlock more discounts.
Value is always a winner, and I can't talk travel without thinking about food.
Neither can the source, apparently. It highlights the delicious and pretty hearty Polish cuisine.
Like what specifically?
It calls out pierogi ahead, those bigos, which is like a hunter's stew,
Hmm?
and kielbasa, the sausage. All must-tries, according to the guide.
Okay.
And, maybe less surprisingly, Polish vodka gets a notable mention, too.
Pierogi and vodka. Right, the culinary angle is definitely
Yeah.
covered. Anything else on its overall appeal, like the vibe?
Yeah, the source also describes Poland as having friendly locals and a safe environment. It actually presents it as one of the safest countries in Europe for tourists.
Oh, that's significant.
Yeah, obviously a big factor for a lot of travelers.
So, pulling that all together, the source builds this picture of Poland offering like a deep dive into European history mixed with modern life, incredible nature, good value, tasty food, and a welcoming, safe atmosphere.
Pretty much. It's pitching a place with something for almost everyone, really.
It covers a wide spectrum, doesn't it? Different kinds of travel interests in one country.
Precisely.
All right, so if the source has you hooked on the general idea, where specifically does it say you absolutely must go? It details several key places. Let's start with Kraków.
Okay, Kraków. It's presented as Poland's cultural heart, basically. The source highlights its incredibly well-preserved medieval core and its historic Jewish quarter. It specifically notes the Old Town is a UNESCO World Heritage Site, which, gives you a sense of its global importance.
And the specific sites it recommends checking out in Kraków.
The guide lists the majestic Wall Castle and Cathedral overlooking the city.
Right.
The huge Rheineck Guni, that's the main market square, the heart of the Old Town.
Yeah.
The beautiful St. Mary's Basilica, famous for its altar. And Kazimierz, the historic Jewish quarter, known for its unique atmosphere and synagogues.
Okay.
And it also includes that important, though obviously sobering note about the proximity of the Auschwitz-Birkenau Memorial and Museum, a nearby site many visitors choose to experience.
Right, of course. Moving on to the capital, Warsaw. The source tells quite a powerful story about this city, doesn't it?
It really does. Warsaw is framed as this symbol of incredible resilience and rebirth. The guide explains it was almost totally destroyed in World War II and then meticulously rebuilt, especially its old town. It presents Warsaw today as this dynamic, modern European capital, one that carries its history forward while really looking to the future.
That story of rebuilding is just remarkable. What are the must-sees it recommends there?
The source points to the Royal Castle and Castle Square, Zenki Park, with its famous palace on the Isle.
Lovely name.
The really poignant Warsaw Uprising Museum, which tells that wartime story. The beautiful Baroque Wilanow Palace. And showing the modern side, the interactive Copernicus Science Center. It highlights that blend, history and modernity.
Got it. Okay, next up, a city with a bit of a playful nickname, Roka.
Ah, yes. The source calls it the Venice of Poland.
Why is that?
Because of its many, many bridges and islands on the Oder River. And a really unique detail the guide highlights is the city's famous for these hundreds of small bronze dwarf statues.
Dwarves? Really?
Yeah, scattered all over the city. Makes exploring a bit of a treasure hunt, apparently.
Huh. That immediately makes it sound more inviting and, well, fun. Where does the source suggest visiting in Roko besides dwarf hunting?
It lists the stunning market square, the Rhynek, Ostrotumski, or Cathedral Island that's the oldest part of the city. The architectural marvel of the Centennial Hall, another UNESCO site mentioned.
Oh, okay.
And the Roka Zoo, specifically calling out its Africarium, which is an oceanarium focused on African aquatic life.
Interesting. Okay, heading north now, to the coast. Gdańsk.
Characterized as a key coastal city on the Baltic Sea. The source highlights its rich maritime history and that beautiful Hanseatic architecture.
Sounds nice for summer.
Exactly. Makes it particularly appealing in the warmer months, the guide suggests.
What specific sites should we look for there, according to the guide?
The source mentions the really picturesque Long Market, Długi Targ, with all its colorful buildings, the iconic Neptune Fountain, St. Mary's Church, and the guide makes a point of noting this is the largest brick church in the world.
Wow, that's specific.
Yeah, a fantastic detail. Also Westerplatte, a crucial historical site marking the start of World War II, and the popular beach town of Sopot nearby.
Right, Sopot. And for those who prefer mountains, fresh air, the source points south to Zakopane.
Yes, Zakopane, right at the foot of the Tatra Mountains. The source positions it as the hub for adventure seekers, nature lovers, often called the winter capital for skiing. But it also highlights incredible hiking, the unique Highlander folk culture, and this very distinctive wooden architecture they have there.
Sounds great. What experiences does the guide recommend in that area?
Exploring Tatra National Park, obviously. Taking cable cars up Kaspery Wierch or Gubojoka Mountains for the views.
The classic mountain experience.
Totally. Strolling down Krupałki Street, that's the main pedestrian street, bustling, full of shops and places to eat, and visiting Morskie Oko, which the source describes as a stunning alpine lake. A real must-see natural wonder.
Okay. The source also gives quick mentions to a couple of other significant sites kind of spread out.
Right, just flags a couple more. Malbork Castle in northern Poland, highlighting it as the largest castle in the world by land area.
Get out!
Yeah. Another UNESCO site, and just this stunning example of medieval Gothic architecture. And the Białowieża Forest out in the east.
Ah, the primeval forest.
Exactly. Described as one of Europe's last remaining primeval forests, also UNESCO. Recommended for ecotourism and the chance to spot European bison in the wild.
Bison. Okay. So this source really covers the spectrum from vibrant historic cities like Kraków and Warsaw to the coastal charm of Gdańsk, mountain adventures around Zakopane, and even these unique natural and historical gems like Białowieża and Malbork. It makes a strong case for Poland's sheer diversity.
It absolutely does.
Yeah.
It presents a country where you could easily put together multiple, very different kinds of trips.
Now, as we mentioned at the start, this guide isn't just listing places. It actively points you towards a specific tool for planning and booking all this. It keeps bringing up FlightNHotels.com.
Right.
What does the source actually claim this platform does?
So the source presents FlightNHotels.com as this comprehensive global travel booking portal. Its core function, as described, is letting users easily compare and book flights, hotels, and car rentals.
All in one place.
Yeah, from a whole range of providers, all within a single interface. That's the idea.
And what benefits does the source claim you get by using it, particularly for a trip like the ones it's describing in Poland?
Well, the guide lists several supposed advantages. getting access to discounted rates and maybe some exclusive deals.
Okay.
The ability to make bookings anywhere, from anywhere. Access to user reviews and ratings to help you choose, and flexible payment options. It positions these as features designed to sort of simplify the whole booking process.
And how does the source connect this platform specifically to unlocking the Polish travel experiences it's detailing? Does it give examples?
Yeah, it weaves examples throughout. Like, it suggests using it to book hotels right near the Krakow Old Town, or finding flight and hotel packages for Warsaw. It mentions comparing hotels in Rogo to maybe find discounts for longer stays, or using the car rental feature for exploring that Tri-City area around Gdańsk.
Makes sense.
It even suggests it's the place to find travel packages or specific lodge bookings for those Zakopane ski resorts it mentioned earlier.
So the source is essentially saying, look, here are all these amazing places in Poland, and this tool makes it easy to piece together the exact trip you want to these diverse locations.
That's exactly how it's framed, yeah. The claimed value proposition, according to the source, is offering freedom, flexibility, and affordability all in one platform, aiming to make the whole journey seamless and tailored to you, the traveler.
Okay. Before we wrap up this deep dive, the source also includes a few quick practical tips for visiting Poland. What does it mention? Just the basics.
Yeah, just some essentials. It notes the currency is the Polish zloty, PLN. Advises that while cards are widely accepted, having some cash on hand is still useful.
Good tip.
The main language is Polish, obviously, but it says English is commonly spoken in tourist areas, so communication shouldn't be a huge barrier for most visitors.
Okay. And when does the source suggest is the best time to actually go?
According to this guide, spring specifically, May to June, and autumn, September to October, offer the most pleasant weather.
Shoulder seasons.
Yeah, and potentially fewer crowds than peak summer.
Makes sense. What about getting around within the country?
The source mentions Poland has a pretty well-connected network of trains and buses for getting between major cities.
Okay.
It adds that renting a car can give you extra flexibility, especially if you want to explore more rural areas or, the mountain regions like the Tatras.
Right. Need a car for that sometimes.
And finally, just a quick note on visas. Poland's part of the Schengen area, so travelers should just check the specific requirements based on their nationality before planning their trip. Standard stuff.
Simple, but definitely important details to have sorted out beforehand.
Indeed. The foundational info you need to get started.
So, to recap what we've unpacked from this source, it paints a picture of Poland as this surprisingly varied, deeply historical, naturally beautiful, and relatively affordable destination, offering everything from poignant urban history and vibrant city life to coastal escapes and mountain adventures.
A real mix.
And it explicitly puts forward a platform like FlightNHotels.com as the tool designed to simplify accessing and booking all of those diverse experiences.
It's a comprehensive look, according to this particular guide, at both the why you should go and the how you can make it happen.
It really makes you pause and, well, consider the narrative, doesn't it? This source highlights how a country like Poland, one that carries the weight of such significant, often challenging history. I mean, you think about that story of Warsaw's near total destruction and its incredible rebuilding. And now it's being presented to the world as this easily accessible, modern travel destination, offering seamless booking and contemporary amenities right alongside its deep historical layers and vast natural landscapes.
It's quite a juxtaposition.
Exactly.
Right.
So what does that specific blend, that profound resilience, the layered history, the geographical diversity, and now this modern travel tech making it all seamless, what does that tell you about how we experience places today? And maybe about how countries themselves evolve to meet the curious traveler